Is it live?
Starting. Live.
Live, okay.
You want to just double check? I don't know. Second double check.
Too good with me. Oh, he recognizes that grandma energy immediately. Is there going to be chanting and
Yes.
some
It has to be. You can't be live to...
That's Spencer. He's 5 months old.
I mean, Ruth is live.
Travels are on it.
And there is ways to make it like more live art, I think, but that requires different technology.
You're all naturally blind. It's not nice to Are you visiting or do you live here? Oh, wow. What's it like there since it's really summer over there now? Summer is it is getting cold. It's not getting cold here yet. But you have more light though than other places. Oh, was it that far up? That's in Alaska. Do you see the northern lights and everything? Amazing. So what is it like when the wind hits and it's dark, dark, dark? Like candles?
Yes.
Do you get depressed?
Yes. We can. But we talk to each other and, you know, we lift our spirits.
Yes.
I guess we're not wearing socks today. Hello, how are you?
Shabbat Shalom.
Get back here somewhere.
Very good.
Hey there.
Shabbos. Rabbi, welcome. Nice to have you all with us tonight. Here we are, and it's our first Shabbat in the Hebrew month of Elul, which is our month of preparation for the high holy days. And we're going to start tonight with a song that really captures so much of the balance we're always trying to strike in our lives. And it's Kol Ha'olam Kulo Yesher Tsar Me'od. You can find it on page 643. It translates to, the whole world is a very narrow bridge. The important thing, though, is not to be afraid. Right? We're going to recognize the fact that the world can be a scary place sometimes, but we have the control over how we respond. And what we decide our reaction to the world is going to be. So 6:43, Gesher Tzar, Or. I don't know about you, but Shabbat came at the right time for me this week. Nice to have Shabbat. Let's do one more nice deep breath in and out, letting go of any of the stress, any of the soreness, just being here in this wonderful moment together. So to bring a little more light and warmth into our space, we're going to turn to the lighting and blessing of our Shabbat candles on page 120. And I'm so honored to invite the parents of our bar mitzvah this Shabbat, Deidre and David, who will be lighting the candles for us. Again, 120. And we're going to welcome the Shabbat presence even more by turning to 138 for Lecha Dodi. La remain standing, take a minute, greet somebody near you, maybe even someone you don't know yet, and wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
All right, dear friends, you'll also notice we are joined up here by our bar mitzvah this Shabbat. Finn, who celebrates becoming a bar mitzvah, will be joining us on the bima for a number of sections of our service now. We're all going to turn together to page 144.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Sivayot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
And on page 150.
I'll give you
Adonai, Ohel Amo Yisrael.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.
Page 157.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together.
Hakifa da Adonai et Yaakov Galo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch ata Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 160, please join with me in the English. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. We are now on page 164 for Zot Tefillah, the prayer, the central prayer of our worship service. I'd like to invite all who are able to please rise.
Adonai sifatartita ufia itevilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'konei HaKol, Ve'zocher בגאולה לפני פניהם, למען שמו ואחריו. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל התורה להושיע. מוריד אתה, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מכמוך על גיבורות, ומדומך מלך מניף ומחייב, ומצליח ישועה, ולמען אתה להיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחייב הכל. אתה קדוש, שמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלו בסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We will now continue silently through page 180. You may pray in English or in Hebrew or even the words of your own hearts, and you may be seated when you are done. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbos again and welcome again. Good feeling here tonight. For those of you who are longtime members of the CBSRZ family, thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for choosing to come and be part of the Mishpacha tonight. For those of you who are visiting or checking us out for the first time or are here to celebrate a wonderful occasion, we welcome you too, and we hope you feel like you're part of our family as well. Make yourselves at home. It's so nice to be together and to join together in prayer and celebration, but also to take the opportunity to find comfort amongst our community and amongst our family here at the congregation. And so when we are struggling, when we're in a time of need, to know that we can come to this safe space and to pray here, either quietly, alone, or even with each other, it's healing, right? Even just a little bit. And we have people in our lives who really do need some of that healing of healing. And so we're going to send our love and our sense of prayer and comfort out to all those who are ill in our family or in our community. Tonight we are especially sending prayers for a refuah shlema, a complete and speedy recovery, to Regan Kodicki, to Harvey Redak, Peggy Tunick, John DiNicola, Nancy Schwam, Sam Rosenblum, Stuart Walker, Miriam Swidler, Esther Starkman, Hugh Stockko, David Clark, Joel Pear, Ben Milstein, Jackie Michael, Colleen Brewer, Linda Sherman, Laura Hessline, Linda Whittemore, Beth Gottlieb, Lily Kleinberg, and Jenna Randall. Who else are you sending prayers of healing to tonight and you'd like to share a name out loud?
Michael Alfred.
Bill Burson.
Debbie Stewart.
Doug Kelly. Oh God, who blessed all of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, please bless us as well and all those who are ill with the complete healing of mind and of body and of spirit. Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh HaCholim, we praise you, God, who cares for the sick. And let us say together, Amen. Let's all join together in the words of Debbie Friedman's Mishaberach, page 371.
Source of strength, who blessed
people in our lives who have healed, who have recovered from illness or injury or an operation, who have escaped danger in some way, who have returned from a long journey safely. And on behalf of all those who have experienced that incredible miracle, we praise you, God, who makes good things happen in the world around us. And let us say together, Amen. And we have simchas, we have smachot, happy occasions. And so we wish a big mazel tov to Phineas on the occasion of his becoming a bar mitzvah. We are so excited to get to celebrate with you, Finn, and share the beam with you some more. And it's just going to be terrific. Everybody is invited tomorrow morning at 10:30 for our Shabbat morning service, which will include Finn's bar mitzvah celebration. So please do join us. Mazel tov to everybody. We're excited. So who else has a significant birthday or anniversary or accomplishment they'd like to share? Something nice going on in their life? No?
Way back, one of the they're all sitting one after another on the purple little chair, cute chair, and it's just the beauty of fashion. I wanted to check it out.
Thank you. So in case you couldn't hear, Paula has some of her photography that's in the library, and it's on the cute purple chair. And she invites you to go and take a look at it. Thank you for bringing it tonight. It really is stunning. So thank you.
Well, I was very appreciative Wednesday for the first of the Understanding Islam series. It's going to be continued over next Wednesday, but it was just outstanding.
Thank you for saying that. So in case you weren't here, you have 2 more opportunities to learn. Thank you for saying that, Art. The Adult Education Committee, partnering with Social Action and with Bagels and Books, has a 3-part Introduction to Islam series that started this past Wednesday with an incredible woman speaking, Aida Mansour, who is just dynamic and down to earth and fun to listen to, but also so informative. And so she spoke to us about a lot of the tenets and beliefs and, things like what's the difference between Islam and Muslims. I didn't know there was such an interesting difference between the two. It is available on YouTube if you missed it and you want to watch. But you have 2 more opportunities to come learn with some other scholars. This Wednesday at 7 and the following Wednesday at 7. So those part 2 and 3. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you. What else is going on? David.
My sister is still visiting from Honolulu.
Hooray!
And she brought another Cantor.
Oh, wonderful!
I'm so happy.
It's so nice to have you both here, and I know we have a mazel tov in order for you as well, and your recent wedding, so congratulations. And it's so nice to have more of the family here, so great, good job. Yes, Finn?
So in the beginning of the school year, we got some new students in our class. I just helped them get around to the kids, so really relate to classes and help them understand what we do at the school and where all the places are, so they don't feel lost.
So if you haven't met Finn yet, what quickly becomes very apparent is he embodies the Yiddish word mensch. Right? Mensch, like you are a human being that we all aspire to be a full human being, and you do it. So what Finn said is in these first few days of school, he's helped out some of the new students who don't know their way around, and he made sure they found their way to class and weren't late to things. He just kind of was a good buddy with them. You're fantastic. Good job. Thanks. Anybody else?
I celebrated with my husband here our 20th anniversary this week.
Oh, happy anniversary! And many, many more in love and joy to come. Congratulations. Well, thank you for sharing these moments with us as well. It's part of what makes it so nice to be a part of the family. I now have such a privilege. I get to introduce tonight's speaker. you may or may not be aware that we have a tradition of having an Elul series of speakers on a common theme. And this year, now that we are here in the month of Elul, the Hebrew month of Elul, as I mentioned at the beginning of our service, we want something that will inspire us as we approach the new year, 5777. And we thought about the symbol of the shofar. We have two beautiful examples on our bima. The shofar, and you know, a shofar at High Holy Days is a call, it's a wake-up call. And we thought about what is that call? And what are the different ways in which a shofar might call us in different ways to different things? And that led us to want to invite each Friday night for the rest of the month leading up to Rosh Hashanah, somebody who's called in a different way. And so tonight we kick off our Elul series with a really phenomenally inspiring woman, and you'll hear from her in a little bit, and no pressure to inspire us, but Izzi Greenberg, who I had already the opportunity to finally meet her in person tonight, but as I've gotten to know the area here around Chester and the shoreline, her name keeps coming up. Oh, is Izzi part of your congregation? Yes, why in fact she is. So she's going to tell you more about why she's well known in our area and why we're proud that she's part of our community. So Izzi, please come on up. Shabbat Shalom.
Hello. Hello. Shabbat Shalom. All right. So I'm not here very often. And it's funny that I'm a speaker. I feel like that's a funny thing because I don't come for services very often, and I often think, well, I'm like a terrible member of this congregation. But actually, the great thing about being a member here is that that doesn't really matter. I'm mostly a member through working on the Middletown Refugee Resettlement Coalition through the Social Action Committee, and that is primarily how my membership here manifests itself, even if I'm not present to see you all very often. So it's nice to meet many of you tonight. Again, my name is Izzi Greenberg. I live in Middletown with my husband and kids who are playing late at home right now. And after a long week of school, they just needed to chill. So they all sent cards as well. I guess I'm asked to speak on why I'm called to social justice. And I've thought about that over the last few weeks. And I don't really have an answer. I think that's the point of the calling. I actually thought, I actually don't even like that word calling, because to me it implied something outside of myself, bringing me to that thing. And I have always really wrestled with my ideas of God, and the idea that it's something outside of myself has never felt especially comfortable to me. So as I thought about this, and I was really resistant to that word calling, even in the last few weeks thinking about coming here. But actually, it really does make sense. And I have also thought this work is really tiring. And sometimes I think, I am just gonna go into retail or make things and sell them or, garden. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I can't do this anymore because this is exhausting. And then about 3 minutes later, I am called back into something, and I think, oh my God, I can't not. There's people suffering, and there's this thing happening over here, and I'm called right back in. And so I guess that word actually really does make sense, although probably I interpret it as an internal calling, and I could interpret God that way as well. I think if I kind of circle the whole thing back, that's a long way around to say that I can't not. I grew up in a non-religious home. Part of what the Rabbi and I talked about earlier this week when I was thinking about what to say tonight was, are there any verses from the Bible that are inspiring to me, or any particularly Jewish things that I can call upon? And I didn't grow up religious at all. My father's Jewish, my mother's not, but he didn't grow up religious either, and literally knows nothing about Judaism, except the cultural things that have always just felt like home for him, and that he told us were part of us because we're Jewish. And I also told her that, some of them are really stupid. we can't learn to fix the VCR. Really. We can't program a VCR because we're Jewish. I really want to record this show, and I'm not going to learn how to do that. So some of it, I don't know where the rationale comes in, but some of the things that we learned that happened because we were Jewish were, there's a real social justice bent in my family, and the idea that, I guess this is probably from the Bible, although I don't know, but the idea that we were, let us not forget that we were slaves in Egypt. And to me, that actually is maybe the one thing that I think about that a lot, actually. And I think it is our responsibility as Jews, and this is how I see it, of course, that we should be helping those who are still oppressed. And I think that the way that I even came to Judaism enough to be comfortable coming here on, what I call a regular basis, which is about once or twice a year, is through Passover. I have really found my Judaism through Passover and through some really radical Haggadot that we use, and the idea of us not being oppressed and needing to help those who are oppressed. I think probably my dad told me, we are black, we're passing as white, and of course race is a construct, so that's irrelevant anyway, but it's our responsibility to help those who are oppressed, and if that means it's because of the color of their skin or because of where they live or their religion, it's our duty as people who have privilege to help others come to that privilege themselves. And to me, I've actually begun to think that this privilege is just a total farce. I don't even know where it comes from. It doesn't make sense to me. That I have it actually feels like a burden, but I do have it, and that's a blessing. And I turn that, the way that I can maybe assuage myself of that burden is by trying to give that privilege to others, and then the load feels lighter. And so that's kind of the pathological reason why I do the work I do. That you can charge me for that. I'm not a psychologist, but I don't know. So at any rate, I am accidentally in this work anyway, professionally. I came to Connecticut from New Jersey because I was chasing a boy, and that is literally it. I ended up in Middletown and thought I wanted to go to college to be a scientist. I was 18, and ended up getting a job as a community organizer in Middletown. I had literally never even heard of a community organizer. I didn't know what that was, but the job description looked like it would fit my personality. And after getting that job and working with and for my neighbors towards equality, improving education, getting quality housing, and safe communities, that really just made sense to me and really did become what now is my life's work. I was in that job for 12 years and have now, for the last 3, been running the Middlesex Coalition for Children, and we are working to improve the lives of low-income children and children of color and their families in Middletown and Middlesex County. So I do some work countywide. Because of demographics, the work does tend to focus on Middletown because of concentrations of poverty, and because the impact can be so great in a place where there's concentration. But that's not to say that in Chester or other more down-county communities that the work isn't important, and certainly the connection to the legislature. I know everyone here feels these laws are passed and it all manifests itself in every community. About a year ago, a group of us just got together and said, I don't know what's happening in Syria, and I think a lot of people said the same thing. Probably going over. But we said, I bet we could welcome some people to Middletown. This is the kind of community we could do this in. And so momentum grew, and actually, so I'm now a representative on what is now the Middletown Refugee Settlement Coalition, a representative of this community, this congregation. And it has really been a pleasure to do this work. There are probably 30 different faith groups involved. There are some civic groups involved. And it's a lot of people to welcome what has only been one family. And it's a lot of work, and I don't know, honestly, I can't figure out how refugees, or immigrants for that matter, do this on their own. Because seeing how difficult it is for one family to come to a country that is so unfamiliar and just try to create a life it's very inspiring. That the first family that is actually an Iraqi family, so they have been in very difficult circumstances. They have 4 children, 2 parents, and the father worked for the U.S. military, which made him a target. And they said that since coming here, they feel safe and they can sleep more than 3 hours at a time. And things that, you know, a good night's sleep, I mean, I take for granted. I might not sleep as well if I have like 2 glasses of wine. I mean, this is real luxury. You know, I don't ever not sleep well. And the idea that there's so much happening around you that you can't, that every single day you worry if your kids will come home from school, or, you know, you worry about the safety of your home and your family in its home, is something that I have never experienced. And so now I've at least been able to learn about it at close range from this wonderful, loving family who is now a member of our community. And we are preparing to welcome a second family. And the theory goes that as momentum builds, it gets easier and easier to do. So that's all extremely satisfying, but I know it would be for anyone. And so I think the idea of a calling also feels a little disingenuous, because I bet anyone here, I mean anyone, if given the opportunity to do these things professionally or for an hour, would say, you know, this feels rewarding, this is something that I will do for an hour or for a life. And we can't all do that, because there's lots of things that we all need to keep this world going. But it is very satisfying. So I guess the one thing, as I was also thinking about this, I actually pulled out the Bible and my study Bible, and I thought, you know, I should know some quotes or something. I'm not speaking in synagogue. And I didn't really find anything good, except from, I told you, Passover is really, I mean, I found lots good, but I found lots good, and I thought, I don't know how to interpret this stuff. I'm going to quote this, and then they're going to tell me, you know, that quote was actually the part we were talking about, something completely irrelevant. So I decided that was not a good idea. But reading through my Haggadah, because Passover is my like #1 day, it's like food and depression, it's like everything for me. But the one quote that was in my Haggadah was, "It is not your duty to complete the work, neither are you free to desist from it." And that to me is a very, I love that quote. And I thought, you know, right, we're not all going to get this done, but we also have to participate. And it's not our blame, but it is our responsibility. So I guess with that, I appreciate the opportunity to speak for you. I thought it was nice. Thank you.
Without knowing it, Izzi just quoted Mishnah. Lo alecha hamcha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo ata ben chorim lehivatel mimena. It's not your duty to finish it, the work, but you also don't have the option of not engaging in it. And there's a lovely melody that it says here. Does anybody know it? I'm just going to sing it here once, and Cantor, Belinda may join me, but Lo alecha hamcha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, lo alecha hamcha ligmor, lo alecha ligmor, velo ata ben chori levatel imena, velo ata ben chori, velo ata ben chori levatel imena, velo ata ben chori. Thank you so much for your wise words. I think next time we advertise a Passover Seder, the tagline will be food and oppression. Yay! And now next.
series this coming Wednesday and the following Wednesday. We had a great turnout this past Wednesday, and I think everybody enjoyed it, so please come. And as the rabbi said, and as Izzi just provided for us, we're having a series during the month of Elul on Friday nights called Eating with Call the Shofar, and that will be the next 3 Fridays for the high holidays. Tomorrow we have Finn's Bar Mitzvah, starting at 10:30. And on Sunday is the first day of Kippur, and everybody's welcome. And on Friday the 16th, we have our normal Erev Shabbat service with the choir. And thank you to the Kleinberg family for sponsoring Onin this week in honor of Finn's Bar Mitzvah.
We're going to turn now to our Sidurs to page 586 for Aleinu. And once again, I'd like to invite you to please rise. Page 594. Beautiful words by Walt Whitman. Why should I wish to see God better than this day? I see something of God in each hour of the 24 and each moment then. In the faces of men and women I see God, and in my own face in the glass. I find letters from God dropped in the street, and everyone is signed by God's name. I leave them where they are, for I know that wheresoe'er I go, others will punctually come forever and ever. Tonight we're remembering some of those glimpses of God, people in our lives who were so important to us, who we love, and who we know will always be with us in spirit. Tonight we are especially remembering Samuel Axelrod, Harry Kovo, Nat Prayer, Shirley Freed, Abraham Glassman, Ben Gordon, Abraham Gottfried, Isidore Gottfried, Rose Tannenbaum, Joan Hoberman, Ida Isner Benjamin, Ruth Kaufman, Mary Krupnikoff, Jack Lindenman, Barbara Margolis, Leo Maris, Donna Moran, Leo Nettis, Nancy Ryder, Mildred Ross, Alan Schwab, Harry Silverman, Eshua Subitsky, Dave Stone, Mary Treppel, Daniel Weintraub, and Richard Zwillinger. Zichronam Livracha. Who else is remembering somebody tonight and would like to share a name out loud?
William Conley.
Miriam Hart.
May all of your memories always be a precious blessing to those who really love them. Together now, if it is your custom, I invite you to rise as we join in the words of Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbi, v'alamav v'yirach pirtei v'yalik machutei, v'chayet on v'yomechon v'chayet kol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'yizman kari v'yiru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbi v'barach le'olam v'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitomam v'yitnaseh. Yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei v'kudusha b'richu. La'elam kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram v'alma v'yiru amen. Yehi shlam baraba bin shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yiru amen. Oseh shalom v'rama, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yiru amen. We will conclude our service tonight on page 625. Adon Olam. Oldie but good. Oldie but good. Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'Ter Moli Yitzir Nira, V'Yein Nasav V'Tem Sokol, Azai Shemoni Pra, Azai Shemoni God, we all entrust our spirits when we sleep and when we wake. And with our spirits, our body too. God is with us, and we shall not fear. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Johnny.